So I'm in Frederick, Maryland right now. So I'm walking along this little canal. I don't know if you guys can see that. I can't even see the screen. There's a little duck over there. I can't even see the screen because it's so bright out. But while I'm showing you this, I'm walking up to the downtown, which is over here. But while I'm showing this, on my way here, I saw a lot of really interesting stuff. I was actually really shocked about a lot of the stuff I saw. The best way I could describe the ride here from Virginia was manicured country. That would be how I'd describe it. I think it's called a carillon. And she was saying to me, because I didn't hold my mic up, but she was saying that you can go see it. I think like if you email someone on Sunday, he plays, and you can possibly go up inside. But I watched a video online, and it's basically, I'll flip the camera so you guys can see me, but it's basically just a guy who he kind of like plays like a organ looking thing, and it's a number of bells that create the sound. So it's Maryland's largest instrument. This town reminds me a lot of, because I drove around a little bit because I was trying to find parking from just riding around. It reminds me of a mixture of Richmond and Baltimore, actually, but not like, you know, the crap part of Baltimore that's like really bad. Kind of like if Baltimore was like somewhat good, you know what I mean? That's kind of what it reminds me of. Which kind of makes sense because I mean, this is Maryland. So this is in Western Maryland. So from just a quick history while I'm walking here and you're looking at these houses, what I saw online was brief. I didn't do as much research as I did on Leesburg. It was apparently very important during the Civil War because it became a medical center for like medical supplies and things like that during the Civil War. This is a really big Episcopal church. Look at this. This is a lot like Leesburg too. Here's a protest up here, I guess. My guess would be that it's no kings, but we'll see when we walk by. This is a liberal, most, I'm reading your signs. Is this, what is this, no kings?
Well,
is it no kings person?
Exactly. We've been doing this protest for 74 weeks.
Wait, I'm on a video. Can I hold the mic to you or no? I'm not.
Sure. Okay,
can you just tell us a brief what it's about and what you're doing?
Sure. This is basically started from No Kings, but we're anti-Donald Trump policies, and we are trying to show how we feel about it, and we get a lot of support. We've been on this corner for 74 weeks in a row. Okay. Last week was 104. We've had weeks of snow this deep. So we're committed, and we're very anti-Trump.
Okay. No, thanks for sharing that. And do you think that this area, would you say it's like more conservative? I'm from out of town. Would you say it's more conservative or more liberal?
No, it's much more liberal. We just 2 weeks ago had a beautiful pride parade, and thousands of people showed up. So if you go down on the corner of Market and Patrick, which is the main thoroughfare, just a couple blocks down, look up, you'll see a pride flag flying, and that Frederick is very, very liberal, and at one time used to be very conservative.
What made that switch?
Well, I think...
Do you think it's Trump, or do you think it's just in general at some point it switched?
Well, I mean, my wife and I moved to Frederick 31 years ago, and at that time there were a lot of people moving from Montgomery County up this way, and I think that's really just continued. So, I mean, they've built thousands of new units continually for the past 30 years here in Frederick, and it seems like mostly the people who move in are pretty much liberal.
Right, because they're moving from more liberal areas.
Yeah. Woo! And we get a lot of support like this. This is kind of a slow day, but we get a lot of support, and, you know, we gather, and this is a place where we can discuss what's happened during the week, and it's kind of therapy for all of us as well. So one block down is Market Street, and it's a very famous street. The Confederates marched up and down. The Union soldiers marched up and down Patrick Street, which is right down this street going this way. So if you go over one block that way where they cross, that's the main thoroughfare of Frederick.
That's the first time I've ever actually stopped and talked to someone that was protesting to see really why they're out there. I thought it was interesting. Here, let me flip the camera so you guys can... Oh, actually, wait, look at that. I don't want to show that too, but let me flip the camera. But it's kind of interesting. I guess I was interested in what he said about how it's therapeutic, because I think that gives me a little bit of perspective on like why, because sometimes I wonder like about just any protests, like why people are so committed to be out there. I understand they have a cause, but look, there's a lot of scaffolding around this. But it's interesting to see that it really is therapeutic for these people, and that's another reason that they come out. So, but yeah, anyways, this isn't a political channel. I'm gonna post this on my YouTube, so it's not a political channel, but I just thought I would ask them since I was passing by. So I've only been here a few times. I think I've been here once or twice, and it was so many years ago. It was about 10 years ago at least. So it's been a while. What's interesting is on the way up here, I saw a lot of wineries and weird stuff, guys, like boiled peanuts for sale on the side of the street. I saw every gas station said cigarette outlet. Look, guys, that's a really old one. I guess you have to pay for those, but there's none in there, I don't think. This is really pretty. I really like this. Really great picture right there. These little details, if you like architecture, this would be a really cool place to come. This looks kind of cool. It's a candy place. Oh, it smells like really good in here. I'm on a video, is that okay? I'm just showing around Frederick. Okay, cool, thanks. So it looks like they have a lot of handmade candies, non-perennials. Oh, look at this, French mints. I've never seen that. So yeah, all kinds of handmade candies. Ooh, key lime buttercream. I don't know if I'd like that with chocolate though. And then birthday cake truffles. Oh, and they've got another side too. That's crazy. That's huge, guys. Oh, and I never see this anymore. Look, guys, this rock candy. They got all these kind of traditional candies and modern candies. Turkish taffy. Snack it, crack it. Sugar babies. Juicy drop gum. Crows. That sounds horrible. I hate licorice. They have a lot of the things that they had at Popcorn Monkey. Tootsie Rolls. Yeah, the candy cigarettes. They had a lot of the classic. Does anyone see hard candy? Whorehound? What is a whorehound hard candy? That's sassafras? Okay, that's a root. I think sassafras is a root. And they have every Pez you could imagine. When have you guys seen Pez's? I feel like this is like, remember when people used to collect Pez's? Kind of like back in, it was kind of like back in, with the Beanie Babies. Frederick found itself occupied alternately by Confederate and Union armies during the Civil War. Citizens who frequented this square corner of Market and Patrick Street saw General Robert E. Lee's Army of Northern Virginia march west from here on Patrick Street and National Road during Lee's September 1862 Maryland campaign. They also saw Union General George B. McClellan lead his army through the town in pursuit. This first Southern invasion culminated in the battles of South Mountain and Antietam. So it looks like I'm just going to, zoom out here for people who are watching the replay. If they want to read about that, they can screenshot the only known photograph of Confederate troops marching under arms. And it was taken here at the intersection of Patrick and Market Streets, which must have been right there. So that was that. I'm shocked they even had a picture of that. Let's go out down here just because it's cool, because it's like down here. It reminds me of my days of going to speakeasies. You have to like lean down to open the door. Sorry. Oh, lots of Taylor Swift. Hi, I'm on a video. Is that okay? Okay. If you like Taylor Swift, this is from Life of a Showgirl, Reputation. I know Taylor Swift fan, but I used to be when I was young. Ambition. Make jewelry here? Oh, very cool. So this guy's, they hand make jewelry. There's little charms and stuff. Maybe, let's check it out. We're going to a couple shop. Okay. Oh no, you're fine. Kim, am I allowed to be on a video? Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you. Oh, look, guys, it's imported Irish stuff. Curly whirly swirlies. I've never seen any Irish candy before. This is interesting. Randoms. These look like little gummies. Great British Sweets Taverners. Wine gums. Huh. Wonder if it has wine in it. Chocolate Masters. Butlers. Irish Cream Liqueur Truffle. Irish whiskey truffle. Smarties. I wonder if that's their version of Smarties. Double decker. A lot of Cadbury stuff. I wonder if Cadbury is an Irish brand, because look how everything is Cadbury. And they got a lot of Irish teas. Jammy Dodgers. I feel like I've heard of that. Milk chocolate 6 tea cakes. Huh. It's a pretty cool thing. Celtic bracelets. If you guys are Irish. Oh, my friend who is Irish in high school had one of these rings. I will never take you where the grace of God will not protect you. That's a good saying. I like that. Look, appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for stopping in.
Yeah, it's a cool store. Are you Irish?
I'm not Irish, but my great-grandfather was.
Oh, very cool. Awesome. Okay. Who is that?
That's St. Patrick.
Oh, it's St. Patrick. Okay, that would make total sense. Thank you. Old Spice and Tea Exchange here.
Jasmine, which one?
It's up to you.
I'm on a video. Is that okay?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, so this is like a tea and spice shop. So they've got porcini mushroom sea salt, espresso sea salt. They got some mirepoix, or what is it called? Mirepoix mixes. Lots of spice blends. So yeah, I'm just generally showing you guys real quick. Caesar seasoning, harissa seasoning, and then they've got teas, fine teas. I wonder if it's ceremonial quality. Oh, it is. It's ceremonial grade. Yeah, that's really good. To bourbon-infused honey, brandy-infused honey. Oh, look, a juniper berry. Oh, look, that's a nutmeg. Okay, so you guys can see here, there are really pretty buildings. There's an Emporium antique shop. So I think I may have been here before many years ago. I've only been to Frederick maybe like 10 years ago, like once or twice. So I think I have been here before, but let's go in. Look at these old door handles. Hi, I'm on a video. Is that okay? Okay, thank you. So this is Emporium Antiques, guys. So we have all kinds of stuff, really unique stuff. Old Milwaukee beer. Prince Albert vintage tobacco tin. That's interesting. I wonder what time period that was from. Sir Walter Raleigh. There must be another tobacco tin as well. Blocks look super vintage too. Oh, and look, we got a vintage mirror here to show my outfit of the day. Again, I tried to do the pink look. Lots of vintage furniture. I mean, there's so much stuff to see. I'm just gonna go kind of quickly, but you could spend a while looking in here. Lots of vintage paintings. Look at this cool lamp. It's almost like there's a fiber of something else in there, almost like, it looks like it's a fiber, it looks like of something in there. Maybe it's just a brush stroke. I wonder what this is. Tobacco box. So I guess you would put your tobacco in here. I don't know how to open it, but maybe you would lay a cigarette there. Huh. Looks like a jewelry box or something. Bunch of jewelry. I'm not really one for the jewelry. Vintage black memorabilia. Looks like one is holding a hat and one figurine is holding, it looks like a plate or something. I'm not sure what that is. But yeah, there's another. And then you got, there's just so much to look at. I can't even narrate everything. Oh, look at that old clock. It looks like it's from the 50s or something like that style. Suzanne Lalique designed Limoges, made by Theodore Haviland, France, vintage and mid-century modern design. This unique set is an amazing find, a porcelain table service decorated with stylized polychrome flower petals and a star center, a very mid-century modern starburst flower pattern designed by Suzanne Lalique for Theodore Haviland. Suzanne began creating her dinner services in 1925 and continued to design Limoges' porcelain until the 1930s. All pieces have the design by Suzanne Lalique. Blue ink stamp as well as the Theodore, blah, blah, blah. They're just talking a little bit about it. That's what it looks like. Oh, look at that. It's from Poland, I guess. It's a Polish religious needlepoint sampler dating back to the early 1900s. That's pretty cool. Vintage Lenox. These look like Hummel figurines. Yeah, they are. They're Hummel figurines. They're going for like 25 bucks. My grandma had some of those. Those are really popular. This looks like old Fiesta ware. Yeah, it's old Fiesta ware. So, oh, and then look. They have Corningware, $48. Very cool. And I feel like my dad had this. What is it? Vintage Nestle Nescafe Globe. It's $45. I seriously think my dad had that. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't, maybe he didn't. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. They have a lot of this. You know, it can be, and I know that's also Corningware too. It's just a different type of pattern. This is also Corningware. I've actually never seen this pattern before. That I wonder what year it is. Does it say? No, it doesn't say what year it is. But yeah, they have a lot of Corningware. That's really awesome. I heard it's hard to find that. So it looks like they have a lot of really good stuff here. This reminds me of like the 80s and 90s, like early 90s maybe. I feel like my parents had a lot of stuff that like kind of looked like that. And then here we have my outfit of the day. You can see I have the pink top and then the lace tights, and I tried to do a pink makeup look. I have a glitter lipstick from Wet n Wild, the Chameleon line from Wet n Wild, and I got my neon pink nail polish too. So I tried to be all pink today. I have one of those, or my parents have one of those for their house for Christmas. So this looks like it's like cut glass or something. Yeah, just gonna generally show this because there's a lot to show. Man, I could be here all day showing stuff, so. Yeah, look at all of this. Man. This is Waterford crystal, which is pretty good. I do like that they label the stuff so you can see what it is. That's super helpful. So yeah, lots of cool stuff in here. Oh, and this, I wonder if this is like where people would put like eggs to eat in the morning. Because I saw something like that in Middleburg where it was like an egg thing where you put an egg and I guess you eat the egg in the morning. I guess it's a hard-boiled egg. Lots of vintage stuff. I mean, I don't know everything I'm even looking at, so I'm just kind of generally showing stuff. Wonder what that is. Wonder if you put like jewelry on it or something. It's like $1,000. It's a gambling wheel. Oh, so you gamble with it. I guess it's like a poker wheel or something. Or a roulette wheel, I mean. So this looks like you can buy like old newspapers. It's from 1876. Wow. It used to be 10 cents. Now it's, I don't know. It looks like $20, but I don't think so. This is $55. May 1927. I mean, for what it is, I feel like the prices are pretty reasonable for what they're selling. First day covers. Arkansas statehood 100th anniversary. Oh, it's kind of like, I guess it's postmarked with like, and their stamps and stuff. I guess they're like postmarked with certain things. So it's like a memorable date. Here's some more glassware. Wow. There's just so much to look at. This is kind of ugly. Ew, that he's even uglier back there. So yeah, just I saw one of these at another store. Ew. Why is it someone's like a close up of someone's face? No. This kind of looks like Donald Trump a little bit. So many of these little tiny things. Nantucket Perfume Company. Look at this guy back here. Wow. What is this? I wonder what she's holding. Yeah, lots of little things to look at. I'm just gonna go pretty quickly because like this is a lot to look at. Just kind of, I mean, if you guys are interested, you can always pause the video. Oops. What is this? Removes freckles, stifles. Also recommended to clear up unsightly tan and blemishes on the face and body. I wonder what that is, if it's like some kind of skin bleaching agent. Friendship sliced plug. Wow, I really don't know what any of these things are. Film plates and bromide papers. That looks, okay, so that's like film. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, is that like a full gun right there? That's very interesting. It's small though. It's very small. Oh, and then there's a vintage camera. They have just all kinds of stuff in here. This is actually a really good antique store. Oh, I guess that's what they would use to clean their shoes off or something. Maybe chocolates. Oh, Whitman's. I didn't even know Whitman's was that old. I guess it is. Lots of tobacco stuff, but I mean, it was a big thing back in the day, so a lot of people had it. Wonder what this is. Glass. Oh, it's a firefighter truck. Fire truck. This looks kind of scary. I don't know. It looks weird. And we got some pins and brooches. Looks like very small silver spoons and things like that. So yeah. That looks like it's from like the 30s or something. That's pretty old. Soft hand lotion, Layman's Ninja Cologne, Exotic Nights trial size, 125. If you like opium or cinnabar, you'll love Ninja. I wonder what year that's from. I'm trying to see, but it doesn't say a year. It doesn't look like. Men's all-purpose talc. Yeah, they used to use a lot of talc back in the day. I feel like it's weird to buy like pictures of other people and their families. Like, I feel like that's weird. Like, I don't know. You know the classic trope of like the eyes moving when you pass by the pictures? Like, I feel like that would happen. Like, more stuff down here. Royal baking powder. Looks like there's some shoes. Just like all kinds of stuff. I'm gonna zoom out so that way you guys can better see. And this looks like some old stuff too. I wonder what that is. Huh. It says Irvifit, trademark. It's US patent. I don't know what that is. But yeah, and I also don't know what that is. There's a lot of things from times past. I just don't even know what they are. Wonder what that is. But yeah, all kinds of stuff here. Wedding stuff. Like, that's so I think that's very weird to buy someone else's wedding photo. I just think that that's so weird. I wouldn't want to do that. Schraff's chocolate covered cherries, cordial, and cream. Maybe they're just using that to display stuff. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep going because there's a lot to look at here. Satina makes ironing easier. Well, there's another of those baking powder. That baking powder must have been really popular. And there's more up here too. Lots of little things to look at. Old Christmas litho tin with all the famous nursery rhymes on it. So they have Little Boy Blue. Hubbard, something Hubbard. Yeah, but just stuff like that. And then they've got use, trade, you, rub it for muscular ache. Oh, these are different medicines. Talcum, cut tax, palm olive, aftershave talc, Bon Ami powder, polishing and cleaning, royal baking powder again, antiseptic tonic. This is pretty cool. Lots of vintage stuff. Hot type rubber heels, super chrome ink. So it's for writing. That's a cleaner back there. So yeah, they have all kinds of stuff here. Look at this little creepy little doll. Super creepy. Okay. Look at how big this place is, guys. I'm gonna try to go quickly. It's hard because there's so much to look at. Oh, there's a guitar. Protocol. I don't know that brand. But yeah, there's another typewriter. I saw one earlier. Again, I'm gonna try to go through some of those shops, but look at this dress. I wonder what time period. Vintage cotton. Yeah, it doesn't say what time period it's from, but that's pretty cool. They even have vintage clothes, just like everything. That's pretty interesting. Oh, and there's some egg cups. Look how small they are. I guess that is the size of an egg. It looks so even smaller than an egg. Wow, look at this wood stuff. This looks nice. So they've got different little like easels and stuff to put stuff on. This might be, some of this might be newer. These are really pretty. These are good easels, actually. I wonder if they're antique or if they're like new and they're just really, wait, let me see if there's, well, there are multiples. So yeah, they might be new. Those are nice. I wonder what these are. They look like, I saw it in a movie, or I mean a show where they had like library cards in these at one point. I wonder if that's what this is, or if it's like for addresses, kind of like a Rolodex. Because look how it has like file, maybe you put business cards in there or something. It's pretty cool. Here's some old books. Ruby or Heart of Gold. So they also have antique books here. Good Earth. These are really old books. Like the stuff here is like very old. There's so much to look. I can't even show you guys everything because there's just so much to look at. You could spend hours in here just looking at everything. Oh look, Raggedy Ann. Raggedy Ann's Merriest Christmas. That's cute. I have these actually. These aren't that old. Antique. I literally have these. No way. $498? No freaking way. Because I'm so serious. I have both. I have two of these. Like, at my parents' house in my old room, I have the. And by the way, I know these are not like vintage. They can't be. There's no. Maybe they are though. Maybe they're from like a relative that passed away. Maybe I'll have to ask my mom, but that's interesting. Yeah, look at these little clothespins. They used to put little faces on them. I feel like I've seen that somewhere for like games for kids or something. There's just a lot to look at, guys. I'm trying to go quickly. Just some silver ones. Mirror. So yeah, it's kind of quiet. Try not to be. I wonder if you put little candles in there or something. So here's some furniture. I wonder what this, oh, I guess that's to keep bugs out if you do something outside. That's actually a pretty good idea. This looks like some really nice detailing on that one. That's a really nice, I wonder what brand it is. French Country Secretary with Z keys at front counter. So I guess you, I guess you can open it just to look, but you have to get to buy it. The keys are at the front counter. I wonder what the brand is. Oh, wow, it's a writing desk. Look at that. I like that. I guess that's why they call it, did they say it was a secretary? Here, let me go back. Gosh, there's so much to look at. This is really nice. It's got that dovetailing, it looks like. Does it? I can't even see it. Oh, it does look like it has it. It's well loved inside. It's got a quartz top. Columbia Graphonola. That's pretty cool. It's an old record player. More mirrors. My outfit of the day. Wow, look at that old lamp. This is Johnson Bros Strawberry. Oh, it's Spode, Copeland Spode. I mean, I wonder if it's like real Spode. It says Spode. I wonder if it's real, because if it is, like, it's a pretty decent price for that. I feel like the prices here are pretty reasonable for what it is. Wow, these are really detailed. And it's nice that they're wide, because the flowers, you can spread them out and they can look really good. So these are just dishes. This looks familiar. I feel like someone in my family has this. Looks really familiar. So these are silver tea sets. And then look at this, these old posters. Peaceful Henry. So yeah, I'm gonna try to go quickly, but I also want you guys to see what I'm looking at. This looks really old. I wish I had a year on some of this stuff so you could, I guess if you're interested in something, you could Google search it and see what year it is. Look at this giant egg. There's so many of these little ceramics in here, but I guess people had a lot of those. So yeah, I'm gonna go pretty quickly. I was trying to zoom out, but I'm already all the way zoomed out. Look at that ladybug. This is an old General Electric, made in USA. You don't see that much anymore. Some glass art, stuff like that. Okay, here's some more furniture. What's this? Very fine late 18th century mahogany knife, great inlay, box, and fluted columns. Ooh, that is really nice. And look at the detail inside on the inside of that. Wow. That's really nice. And I guess it locks as well. That's good. But yeah, so that's kind of what this is, guys, you know. This is a very large thrift store. I've been here several times. I think I've been here at least twice, but it was so many years ago. But I do know, like, I've always felt Walnut Desk, Chester County, Pennsylvania. Huh. I wish they said the brand on it. I've always felt this is one of the best places to come if you like thrifting, antiquing, because they have a lot of really nice antiques here. So really detailed chair. These are some old clothes, 9 West. It looks like that's from it's an old logo. It looks like it's from like the 70s or the 80s or something. This is some vintage clothes. Investment Clothiers. Bershika. Cherokee. I'm trying to zoom in so you guys can see. Cherokee, if you guys know any of these brands. Maggie, London, Petites. Howard Wolf. Yeah, I don't know like any of the brands because they're so old. I mean, they got like classic Levi's. Rena Rowan for Seville. So yeah, just that's the kind of stuff they got in here. Lots of vintage stuff. The bags here, it looks like a Dooney and Burke. Yeah, it is. It's a Dooney and Burke. So yeah, this is just some. Look at that vintage dress. Oh, I zoomed in. I forgot to zoom back out. But yeah, Gianni beanie. Yeah, so these are just vintage. This is just some artwork. I'm not gonna have time to stop at every single one because I don't want this video to get too long. But you get, the point of like what it is. You can always, I guess, pause it. Hopefully the frame rate's good enough that you can see everything if you want to pause. But yeah, let's go into the other side because there's a whole nother side to this building. I wonder what this originally was. So yeah, when I came here many years ago, they had stuff from Tom Clancy in here, who is like a famous writer. I think he wrote like war stories and stuff like that. This is actually really nice. This furniture is pretty cool. Wow, that's really detailed too. Very rare Charles II English document box in oyster shell walnut with fine stump work, silk panels. It's $3,000, but when they say, is it his or is it like from that time period when he was king? Oh, I see the silk. That is pretty cool. But like it's kind of dusty inside. I wouldn't really like that. I guess maybe there's a way to clean it. Look at that upholstery. That's probably another knife holder like we saw on the other side. Looks like they have a lot of good stuff here, like a lot of rare stuff that you wouldn't see in a lot of places. It is very quiet in here, so I'm trying to be kind of quiet. Vintage wood tray. They got all kinds of stuff. There's just so much to show. I won't be able to, or I'll be here all day if I look at every little thing. But if you like antiquing, this is definitely a great place to come. All right. Oh, wow, they have a whole nother side. Okay, I remember that now. Yeah, it's been so long since I've been here. Now, I do love this. What does this say? Monte Cristo? Okay. The type of wood is nice here. It looks almost brand new. I wonder how old it is. It looks like this one has a design on it. It's got a leaf. It's like a big leaf, guys. So Mahogany inlaid. It's hard to read the handwriting. I can't read what that says exactly, but pretty cool. I'm not going to be able to, again, show everything, so I'm just going to quickly show this. And they got little bunnies. It's interesting. And then I wonder if those are like jade figurines. Look at these babies. That's so weird. They almost look like Hummel figurines, but they're not. They're called Happy Fat Bisque doll figures, made in Germany. So much stuff here. Wow. Look at all this stuff in here. I feel like I've seen that Viking looking thing before somewhere. It's like information overload. There's so much stuff. Collectible playing cards. Oh, I wonder if these... Should you have any questions regarding anything in this space? Okay, I wonder if people rent space and have all their different antiques, because that would make sense if there was like a bunch of different sellers in this one place. Oh, look, there's more Corningware. I wonder how much they are charging for this one. It's kind of dirty looking now on that. Look, see on that side. See, the other thing too, like, I really wouldn't want to buy like dishes from like an antique store, because like I don't know where they've been. Like, if it's an inherited piece, look at this. If it's an inherited piece, like I kind of know where it's been, but like you don't know if it's been in like a hoarder's house where it's like really dirty, or like that would make me feel not like I wouldn't want to use that. Rin Tin Tin and the Outlaw. Little golden paper dolls. Interesting. Puss in Boots. They got like little golden books from 1948. Wow. Prayers for Children, 1952. Got a big crayon. Little figurines here. That's creepy looking. So yeah, I'm just generally showing you guys. This guy looks like he's... Oh, I guess it's like he has a hunting hound. Maybe he's hunting. Okay, I'm gonna go pretty quickly because this is like a lot of stuff. And look at this blue sculpture. So this is some clothes in here. All right. I mean, they have a lot of really nice stuff. All right, let's go to maybe... Actually, I didn't visit this other end, and then we'll go to the other side maybe and see that. That's a pretty nice room. I wonder why this has divots in it like that. Oh, here's... Oh, you play chess on it. It's a chess table. Beautifully carved and formed Chippendale triple top games table veneered in plum pudding mahogany. Oh, it's money wells, guys. It's money wells. You put money in there. That's interesting. All right. I mean, I'm literally going to have to just pass whole sections because I won't have time to go through all of this, or we'll never see anything else in the town. So there's just a lot to see, but you know, I definitely recommend you guys come out here if you like this kind of thing. This is very 70s, this vibe right over here. Mod kind of, you know. Oh, look at all these vintage cameras. Wow, that's pretty cool. Like $40, $100. That's not too bad for what it is. But I guess it also might be hard to get film for some of these too. I mean, these are like old cameras. Like, you would probably have to look up the year of them, but they're very old cameras. And these are newer ones, but yeah, so the newer ones are a little bit more expensive, and it's probably because it's a lot easier to get film for those ones. $50. This reminds me of my Yashica TL Super from the 70s. And this is a lot of brown furniture from, it looks almost like from the 80s or 90s. This stuff's on sale. Lots of old shoes. Ooh, this is creepy. These dolls. That's creepy. Look at these shoes. I guess those are to put in your shoes, like to fill them out, to store them. These little glass shoes I've seen these a lot today. These are really popular. $50. Oh, it's tea. What's that? I wonder if that's like a toy vacuum cleaner or something. Yeah, it's gotta be a toy of some sort because it makes a lot of noise. Kids like that. Some more dolls. All right, guys, let's go over to the other side. See what they got over there. No, you're good. All right, so this is a whole nother side of this building. But the smell is different over here. It smells completely different. Like the air is just different. It doesn't smell bad or anything. It's just the air is different. This looks like newer stuff. Maybe some photography. Yeah, this looks like a lot newer. Oh, Stickley. Stickley's great. That's a type of furniture. So let's see how much they're charging. $375. Is it for 4 of them? That's crazy if that's for 4 of them. That's nothing, in my opinion, because if it's Stickley, if it really is, I feel like that's pretty affordable. Does it include the table too? This side looks totally different, curated differently. I feel like people are looking at me weird because like they're not used to people being on a video, so they think I'm just like talking to myself, which I mean I guess is kind of true, but definitely ivory keys. Stark. There's like a film on that piano. It's kind of gross, to be honest. This is sold. Sorry.
Here you go. For your baby.
I wonder what that is. It says Ash Shepherd and Co. Oh, it's a stove. That's interesting. Look at this. Why do they have something under their chins? So this is on sale if you want any of this stuff, guys. Look, there's another doll over here. Queen Elizabeth. I guess it's like a sailor. Oh, my teacher literally had this. Literally, my teacher had this exact Stanley. All right. right. We're just moving on here. Lots of military stuff here. And then, but anyways, this place is called Emporium Antiques. Okay guys, so I haven't seen this side, so I was gonna show this because I don't think I had shown this side as I'm walking out, but yeah, I don't think I've seen this side, but oh, look at all this silverware. Wow, that's a lot of silver. I wonder what this is. Huh, I wonder if it's like where you put sewing supplies. Oh, it is. It's a sewing table. Oh, I guess it turns into a table. That's pretty cool. I like that table too, how it goes down, but it's like glass on top, so it gives this kind of optical illusion. That's pretty cool. And I haven't been in this room either. So I'm gonna show a little bit in here. Antique Victorian marquetry inlaid double inkstand with cut glass inkwells. Huh, oh, look, that's what it is. This is where they would put the ink. And I guess that would be a stand for their ink. Wow, that's really cool. They have a lot of furniture in here. Wow, that looks really old. Early 17th century, 1610 to 1620 Tuscan Palladial throne chairs, likely from Italian nobility. Wow. That's crazy. It's almost like that should be in a museum. Fascinating. Okay, guys, so I don't know if we're supposed to exit there, so I'm going to go around, but actually, wait, what's this? Wonder if that's like a Greek 19th century mahogany inlaid table with one drawer. You guys can screenshot that if you're interested, but it actually is in really good condition. And look at how it has little faces all around it. That's actually a really nice thing if you like that kind of thing. Oh, look at this. So yeah, guys, there's so much to look at. Oh, Hinkle Harris. I like Hinkle Harris. It's good quality. My parents have a lot of Hinkle Harris. I wonder how much it is. I wonder how much this costs. Yeah, I don't see a price tag anywhere, but maybe it's inside. Oh, look. Genuine mahogany, Virginia Galleries, Winchester, Virginia. That's where it's made, in Winchester. All right, so here we have one of the main streets. There is a lot of Civil War history here, so this is the National Museum of Civil War Medicine. Back with the video. I asked if I could record before, but my connection was really bad, so I just started an actual video. Yeah, thank you. So here we have, I was looking at these before, they're literally diseases. Like they have cough and they have like common cold, and they have Lyme disease, staph. They're like stuffed animals for diseases, which is really weird. They even have syphilis over here, which I was like, that is a lot. This is interesting. Over here they have like Civil War soda, cream soda, birch beer. So I guess this is stuff maybe they would have drank at that time. Mulled apple cider, blackberry cream soda, ales, like different stouts. This is, these are different like playing cards. They just have a lot of really cool stuff. This is some, like you can, I guess, dress as a Confederate soldier, or over here they have like the Union soldier stuff, so you can dress up. And they're pretty nice hats. I mean, the gold on that's pretty classy, so Yeah, and I guess they have different like games they would have played during the Civil War, cup and ball. So, yeah, different Civil War bears. Some books here. And then, so yeah. They also have some old vintage candies like cartridge candy, a black powder musket cartridge. It is filled with fruit powder and gumball. You pour it down your muzzle. Interesting. Black powder candy, fruit flavored powder. I wonder if these are like modern candies or if this really was like old candy back in the day. Old fashioned lemon sanded drops, cartridge candy, whorehound. I saw this in another store too, old fashioned whorehound. So there's those drops too. So yeah, let's go back in this museum. The thing about Frederick is it's actually a big center. It was a big center during the Civil War for like medicine and medical supplies. So that was something that's interesting about it. It says here, did you know it was common for medical personnel from both the North and the South to treat the wounded from the other side? Did you know the care received at a field dressing station mainly consisted of bandaging wounds and administering whiskey for shock and morphine for pain? First aid stations and first responders remain an important part of modern medicine. And then you have field hospital. So you have a letter from a farmer to the Confederate Army describing the damage done to his home and property while his land was being used as a field hospital. I do hear someone talking, so I think they may be giving a tour. I know they do have an event going on today, so I'm trying to be quiet. But yeah, this is someone getting their leg amputated, I guess. Medical tools that they would have used as an amputation kit. Surgeons use kits such as this for the amputation of bullet-shattered limbs. This kit, which was not specifically intended for military use, was produced by Edward Snyder of Philadelphia, who manufactured surgical instruments from 1841 to 1855. It was not uncommon for Civil War surgeons to use their own personal kits rather than those issued by the Army. So, yeah. And then they have different charts of how they would do that. Tourniquets, you know, I can't read everything for time, but yeah. Is that an actual arm? Oh my gosh, this is an actual arm. Someone donated an arm. This human arm was donated to the museum by an anonymous donor who reported to us that the arm was originally in the possession of a doctor in Western Maryland and had been found on the battlefield of Antietam. Many local anecdotes exist concerning the arm, but most claim that it was found near Burnside Bridge not long after the Battle of 1862. It was not uncommon for farmers to turn up their human remains while plowing their fields and building their fences for years after battle. And it says modern analysis tells us that the arm belonged to a 16 to 18-year-old Caucasian male of slight build, probably from Ohio Valley region. It was not amputated, but rather was torn from the body at the elbow joint at or near the time of death. The arm was naturally preserved and consistent with the type of remains associated with battlefield burials. So I guess they did a scan of it. Zoom in so you guys can. That is incredibly creepy. Also, like, I find this very odd that somebody, like, literally just found an arm and kept it. Like, I mean, I guess I would, like, turn it into the police or something if I was a farmer and found that. I don't even know what I would do. I've never thought of that. So anyways, the most common treatment for the fracture of a limb was immobilization by splint. All of the splints seen here were carved by hand from either hard maple or birch wood. You guys can screenshot these because I don't have time to read all of these. If you want to read that, screenshot. These are some people that got wounded. I guess they know they got wounded. So yeah, it looks like he got shot, amputated. These are hot drops, simple cerat, blister plaster. So these are just different ointments. That would have been a Union hospital steward's frock coat, hospital gown. I get a creepy vibe from that. These are pretty realistic. Like these, I mean, I literally thought it was like a person. If you're not, you know, looking super closely. So it's just talking about the hospital stewards. I mean, you can feel free to like pause this if you want to read more. It looks like there's some letters in here. And then pictures of the hospital stewards. Scale model of Heyman Hospital, Point Lookout. Music in medicine, hospital life, for those well enough to enjoy it, was far from dull. Many of the larger hospitals organized and maintained bands for the amusement of the patients. That's interesting. So they would have little concerts for them. Interesting. That's somebody in a bed, and I guess that's a nurse. That's the outfits that they would wear. Some different supplies. So yeah, bedpan.
Trying to make your life better, even after the Civil War, by learning all of these things.
What did they do with the list you posted?
So, John Britton, who was it was not uncommon for the soldiers to go and visit their own remains on display. That happened quite regularly. Famously with sickles, but yeah, he was not unique in that way. And some people actually wanted them back. They were upset, like, can I have that, please? And the common response was, well, you enlisted to serve, and this part of you is still in service. So.
Hey everyone, so I'm just including a voiceover for this portion of the video because I found it a little bit difficult to talk on the second floor. Now this is the second floor. I went to the first floor first by accident because I didn't realize you're supposed to go to the second floor first and work your way down. Well, I came up to the second floor and I tried to move pretty quickly because of time, but just to share an overview, they have a lot of information about medical education during the time. This particular interactive exhibit right here shows individuals with injuries and if they would be sent home or not based on said injuries. They also shared information about women's role in the Civil War as soldiers and just tons of information up here. I mean, they also shared about veterinary medicine and first aid care and things like that. So there was just so much to see. You can feel free to pause and read some of these things, but if you want to see all of the information, you'll have to come to the museum yourself. But I also want to share a story that happened off camera. So there's a third floor to this building as well, which is only open to staff. And one of the members of staff shared that he was up there one day and he heard a little boy laughing and running down the halls. But I mean, I'm assuming obviously he didn't see anyone up there. So he shared that encounter and yeah, thought it was very strange. So just wanted to share that. Now, in a room adjacent to this, they had what I believe to be a special event. I don't think they do it every weekend. They had a couple of what I believe are reenactors that shared very, very detailed historical information about the Civil War and medicine during that time and first aid. So I'm going to share that a little bit. It was really cool because I just happened to be here on a day where they had that event. So let's hear what they had to say.
You're looking at here right now, as far as the equipment that you see here, is equipment that would be used at what's called a field dressing station. So when it came to the U.S. Army Medical Department, which is what we portray the medical staff of the U.S. Army Medical Department. One of the greatest innovations that occurred in the Civil War was the creation of what's called the Letterman Plan. This was created by Dr. Jonathan Letterman. Dr. Letterman was the medical director of the Army of Potomac, became medical director in June of 1862, realized that the system that they were using to evacuate and treat the wounded on the field in a battle was not very good. It was really bad, and it needed to be changed. So he came up with a system that had multiple, a number of parts to it. So the first part of the system was having a organized supply system. So, when you're in a battle, you have supply warehouses or supply depots close to where the battlefield is. That's the first thing. Second thing is, he took his surgeons and said, for the surgeons that were performing operations, I want the best and the most experienced surgeons to be the operating surgeons. Third thing is, you got to, like any hospital, you have administration, you have paperwork to do. A lot of paperwork. And that's one of the things with the armies on both sides when it came to the medical staff is we kept very meticulous records of who came into the hospital as far as what the name of the person was, what unit he was in, what he came in with as far as was it a wound, was it an illness or disease that he had, how he was treated and what the result was. And those records you can find today at the National Archives. So the next part of the plan that he created was an organized ambulance corps, because up until that time, the ambulance corps was run by the quartermaster department. So in earlier battles, like the first Battle of Bull Run, what they do is drink the hospital whiskey, or the first shot that went off, if they, artillery shot that went off, they go running, take the ambulances with them, and they're nowhere to be found. So, you had soldiers lying on the field for days that, as far as evacuating. And then the other thing is they had no trained stretcher bearers. So was the people that were designated as stretcher bearers early in the war were musicians, kids that were under 16. So they weren't trained to know who was alive and who was dead. So a lot of there were situations where people who were alive were left on the field and they were bringing in dead people. So it was, and then the thing is with the chain of evacuation, they had an organized chain of evacuation. They had what were called regimental hospitals. So if you were not a member of my regiment, I basically tell you, go find your own regimental surgeon. So you had surgeons that were overworked and underworked. So Letterman said, we need to make a change. So in August of 1862, he creates the plan. So as far as the plan goes, so his plan included an organized ambulance corps, included surgeons and hospital stewards to handle all the paperwork, and it included a pathway for as far as a chain of evacuation. So, and you're looking at the first part right here. First part, chain evacuation, is what we refer to as a field dressing station. So this is located about 50 to 100 yards behind the lines. You have a surgeon who's myself in overall charge. You have an assistant surgeon, and then you have this gentleman here who's referred to as a hospital steward. A hospital steward was the workhorse for the medical department, and one of his jobs was carrying the hospital knapsack, or in this case, the case that you see here. So what are we doing at a field aid station or field dressing station? We're doing two things. First of all, we're doing basic first aid. Civil War was the first time ever basic first aid was being done out on the battlefield. Before that, if you were a wounded soldier, you were just basically put on a cart, taken to a place designated as a hospital, and that's where you were taken. No first aid, no bandaging, as far as being done right out in the field. This was the first time you have the creation of first aid kits. In 1863, there was a doctor named Richard Coolidge who said, we need to get rid of the knapsacks because they're too cumbersome. We need to come up with a standardized case, as far as carrying case, and then we need to scale back the amount of stuff that we're carrying. And what they came up with was the Coolidge case. This is the case that the Union Army would ultimately transition to. So this is the bottom part of the case is where you kept all your drugs and medications, 10 drugs that they carried out in the field. The top part that you see here is where they kept the bandages, and it's curved like this. It's based on a British Army design, so it's curved, designed to fit right up against your hip. So you got an over-the-shoulder strap, and then you got a waist strap, and that's what you're carrying your supplies in. The drugs that we're carrying in there, first of all, what we're carrying is hospital brandy or whiskey. Now, unlike the movies like Hollywood, if you ever seen the movie The Horse Soldier or any of those movies where, you're giving alcohol to a soldier as a painkiller, or you're giving it where, you're making the patient drunk enough, and then once you start, once he's drunk, then you can start operating. Or even you're taking it and you're pouring it on the wound like you're sterilizing where it's an antiseptic. Did not happen. Did not happen. So what they used alcohol or hospital brandy was as a stimulant. So if you were in any kind of shock, the way in which we bring you out of it is we gave you about a couple of teaspoons of hospital brandy or whiskey. Now, did it actually work that way? The answer is no. Years later, we realized that, alcohol is not a stimulant, it's a depressant. So that was one of the things of the time. So they had painkillers. They had plenty of them. So morphine, opium, they had a paregoric, they had a liquid form of opium called laudanum. Laudanum was basically alcohol mixed with opium. Was very popular for the 19th century era, especially the Victorian era. As far as a painkiller. Now, opium was used not just as a painkiller, but it was also used in the cases of dysentery and diarrhea. So when we talk about battlefield wounds and we talk about amputation and all of this stuff, but what the majority of the people that died during the war was people that died from disease. They died from disease. And the three number one killers of soldiers was typhoid, dysentery, and diarrhea. A lot of soldiers, you hear the term old soldier's disease. Soldiers became drug addicts as a result of it. And that's a lot due to giving the opium for dysentery and diarrhea. That we carried. We also carried drugs for blood control. So we did carry tourniquets. This is one of the style tourniquets you're going to see the most. This is called a field tourniquet. Basically a belt and a buckle. They're going to wrap it around the limb. They knew a great deal about anatomy. They knew a great deal about pressure points and how to apply a tourniquet. The kit that you see here, this is called a pocket surgical kit. This kit, I can do anything from bandaging, suturing, and what they used for sutures was silk suture or silver wire. Probe for a bullet, I can remove a bullet. I can even do a minor operation, which is removing a finger or a toe. Our instruments for diagnosing. So certainly the number one instrument that you use for diagnosing is the stethoscope. So this is the monaural stethoscope. It's basically one piece. You've got the earpiece that's right here. You put it up against your ear. You're going to put this up against the person's chest. You're going to listen to his heart, but you're also listening to his lungs.
I'm a hospital steward, and my responsibilities, I'm in control of all supplies in a hospital or a field hospital. I control the inventory, the ins and outs. I need to know who comes in, all the wounded. I take down all their information, name, rank, the whole kit and caboodle, the date of admission, this and that, and I segregate by how serious the wounds are, or illnesses, this and that, and then sort that out. I do handle minor wounds, minor illnesses, and at the end,
They would hide stuff underneath their skirts.
the soldiers who needed surgery, I prepare them and ship them out to the surgeon. So basically, all reports, registers, I'm in control of all of that.
So what you're seeing here are all the tools associated with surgeons at a field hospital or at a general hospital. The centerpiece is the capital amputation kit, but it's capable of a whole lot more than just amputations. One of the things to consider is that in the 19th century, there's no germ theory yet, right? So they don't know they had to be sterile, so nothing is sterile. Everyone's going to get infected, but they are thinking long-term about their patients. For example, if you look right here, this is about bone care. Everyone knows about amputations. They were fast. Speed mattered. Speed is what kept people alive. But you can't just saw off a limb, for example, and let the guy go. They're thinking long-term about his quality of life. This is called a rongeur, a bone-gnawing forceps. When you end up cutting that bone, it's going to be really sharp. So you nip the edge. You take a file. You smooth the edge. You take a brush. You get rid of every little bit of bone dust so they don't have a spur. Why? Because you are thinking in your mind 6 months, a year down the road when this guy is alive and this guy is going to get fitted for a modern prosthetic. This is not butchery. This is the height of 19th century medicine. So everything you're seeing right over there is all about anesthesia. So the big myth in the Civil War is that there wasn't anesthesia. Lies. Think about it. If I'm trying to cut off your arm and you're not anesthetized, two things are happening. I'm getting cut and so are you. So they use chloroform or ether. The copper cone there, that's an ether cone. But next to it is that linen. You could just use that. 8 to 12 drops, place over the nose and mouth. Wait and feel for the pulse to get thready. The eyes get a little stop. You're not trying to put the person all the way under. You were trying to take them into a twilight. The term that they would have used in the 19th century was insensible to pain. We have one cool anecdote from a Union soldier who wrote that during the surgery, he heard the doctors talking and he heard the bone saw at its work, but he felt nothing. So why did people think that they didn't use anesthesia? Because today when you get anesthesia, you also get a muscle relaxer with it. When you take ether or chloroform, instantly you begin to have muscle contractions. So a hospital steward is laying over the patient, right, trying to hold him down. You might still be talking, yammering about whatever. You are not in the room anymore. You're insensible to pain, but you're still half awake.
Right, kind of like laughing gas, and that kind of stuff.
Yes, kind of similar.
Okay. Yeah.
But it was used in great quantities throughout the war.
Elizabeth Blackwell was the first female physician educated in this country. 6 years later, Mary Walker graduated from medical school. And at the start of the Civil War, Elizabeth Blackwell tried to get a commission but was refused because she's a woman. The same as Dr. Mary Walker. She was also refused, but she didn't take no for an answer. So she decided to volunteer as a civilian surgeon, and she worked for 2 years. So she wasn't paid. She was a volunteer surgeon, civilian. And then finally, she 2 years later was hired by the U.S. Army to be a civilian assistant surgeon. So she did get paid. She was employed by the Army, but she was never a commissioned officer. After the war was over, she went to the State Department and asked if she could get a retroactive commission as a uniformed, surgeon. They said no, because there was no precedent. But Andrew Johnson, who was the president, and Stanton, who was the Secretary of War, they honored her with the Congressional Medal of Honor. So she's the first and only woman to get the Congressional Medal of Honor. She did lose that title in 1917, many years later, because she was not a commissioned officer. And they said that the Medal of Honor only went to commissioned officers. So she would not give back the medal. She died 2 years later. 60 years after it was taken away, it was given back to her. So it was reinstated by the Jimmy Carter administration. So yeah, you have to really research her. There's not much about her.
Okay, this is our for spies. So one way that they would smuggle things, the women would smuggle things, is they would smuggle messages, medicines, especially in the South. Medicine was a big thing. They would hide it in their hair because, of course, Victorian tendencies at the time, men would not search a woman like we have today. Also, they would use dolls. The China dolls, the heads and the body would be hollow, so they would use those to also smuggle medicines, messages through the lines. These four ladies are some of the more notable spies from the Civil War. This would be like a modern day sewing kit. Women who were not able to stay at home due to not having their income, they would potentially follow their husbands into the army, and they would become camp followers. But what they would do is they would do the men's laundry, cook for them, those sorts of things. And then this is hardtack. It is a very hard cracker that it will break your teeth. That one is actually 15 years old, believe it or not. So it's a real one. Put the hardtack in coffee or some sort of liquid to soften it, make it easier to chew.
Hey guys, so we're back on the streets again, and I'm just going to show you guys around just a little bit. All right, next I have this vintage MC store.
Totally fine.
Oh, totally fine to film. Okay, thank you so much. So yeah, I was here before, but my footage, I'm coming back because of my footage. So, all right. So this is like vintage fusion kind of store. They got some old stuff and some new stuff. So like this looks like it's actually like vintage. And then in the back, they have a lot of like vintage stuff. That looks like some like pinup kind of thing. Times I was right and nobody listened. Oh, that's funny. I can relate to that actually. I thought this was really cool. I showed this before, but it was really good quality wood, and it's really cool. It's got like a nice 70s vibe to it. My house isn't set up that way, but if it was, that would be a cool thing to get. That's pretty vintage too. I didn't see that when I was in here earlier. The green couch is very 70s. I was saying earlier that boomers really like that kind of color because I was really in the 70s. Of course, the orange as well. So yeah, and then, sorry, excuse me. You got all the mugs. It says like dynamite, stuff like that from the 70s. I'm going to go pretty quickly because there's a lot I could show. Now at this point, this was kind of when so I saw the typewriter, but this was kind of when my footage disconnected. So this part I haven't seen yet in here. But take a look at that old suitcase. My parents had one like that, but it was blue, and they got some sewing patterns here. So I guess this is what I missed from before. So this is like old clothing. So That looks like it might be like an ashtray. They've got several ashtrays. Back in the day, a lot of people smoked in their houses, so that looks like I've seen it before somewhere. I think like my grandma had that or something. The one of those matching tables looks really nice. And they also have a lot of little vintage knickknacks too, little salt and pepper shakers. I feel like it was really popular to have decorative salt and pepper shakers back in the day. I think my parents had one of those. But now it's not really popular. So, like, I feel like I never say, oh, look, matchbooks. My parents also had a match collection, so it's kind of like, thank you so much, I appreciate it. It's a great store. It's called Vintage MC Mid-Century Decor. Oh, that makes sense. I didn't see the sign before. That makes sense that it's like mid-century. So we're coming up here on these really cool vintage buildings, and I actually didn't see it from this side of the street, so I'm gonna flip my camera so you can see all the detail up there. Look at that detail. You can see there's some faces and the lion. I mean, that's some incredible detail right there. Oh, look at this, the offices. So it looks like the Weinberg isn't really a movie theater. It looks like it's for like actual performances, and here's a New Spire Art. So it looks like this might be kind of an art district over here. So they have a florist, it looks like, and there's some, I think they're dried flowers. Shuck and Shack oyster bar, so if you like oysters, I know my mom likes oysters a lot. Obviously you have a tattoo place. So this is what Frederick is known for. Like if you Google it, you'll see a lot of pictures of this. It's really pretty in the summer, but yeah, really nice. They have all kinds of fountains, things like that. So this is the other side. I came here for a craft festival once, and they had different artisans lined along the brick, but take a look. It's pretty interesting. And they got little water lilies and things. All right, guys, so over here, you can see you can go pretty close to the water. And you can also have a look, you know, off of a lookout. You can see one of the lilies is flowering over there. So that's really pretty. The top of the bridge, and we'll take a scenic look. There you go. That's what it looks like. Looks like someone's playing music. So the last time I came here was about 10 years ago, I guess. I think it was like maybe over that. It was probably 2015 maybe. And I'll be honest with you guys, the homeless population is definitely a lot more prominent than it was the last time I was here. Pretty much I've noticed along this waterway, there are many, many homeless people. When I was here back, you know, over 10 years ago, I don't think I ever saw a single homeless person. Look at that. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I did know that there was a little bit of a homeless population because when I was researching online, or actually maybe it was just I was on Instagram Reels, I saw someone was talking to a homeless person out here, what appeared to be a homeless person. So I knew that there were definitely some individuals out here like that, but I didn't know that to the extent until I came out here next to this waterway and saw it for myself that there are quite a few. Look at this. It's even got a historic plaque. It says the original memorial. I'm gonna walk away from this area because it smells like urine. Okay guys, so my phone is running out of battery. So it's got like one tick of energy left. So I am gonna go ahead and end the video, but thank you so much if you were able to join this or watch this. I mean, I was live before, so I'm still in live mode, but yeah, if you were able to watch this video, thank you so much. And yeah, this has been a really cool place to see. So I might try to stitch some of the live footage in as well that I lost, because I saw, you know, some pretty cool things on my way here as well. So yeah, but anyways, thank you guys so much for joining, and I'll see you next time.